This is Ralph Irvin in the UCLA football offices, most specifically the office of UCLA head football coach Rick Neuheisel, who joins us on the eve of the UCLA spring football camp. Coach, thanks for joining us.
It's great to be with you, Ralph. As we sit there and you sit beneath all these great quarterbacks, we're hoping that Kevin Prince could be the next in the great line of these guys that have taken us to some pretty good places.
Well, and you've got to be excited for the opening of spring camp.
Very, very excited about the opening spring practice. This is what we look forward to, because you go through that lull of time following your last game, and you are in this sprint called recruiting, and then you try to get all your data from the season past and collect all the information you need to try to improve for the upcoming year, and you can't wait to go out and try out your new stuff. So we're really looking forward to getting back on the field and looking forward to having all our fans come out and watch us if they will.
How important was getting the extra weeks of practice for the Eagle Bank Bowl and then getting a bowl win on top of it?
Well, bowl games are crucial to program success because, just as you mentioned, you get extra practice, which is really, really important. If you look at how many practices we had for the Eagle Bank Bowl, probably 13 to 14, which is almost a full spring practice. So that was monumental for our young players and the development of our program, and also obviously being back in the postseason picture and being one of the teams that people are watching on television and so forth. That's great, and obviously winning the game is crucial because it gives you a momentum boost as you head into recruiting, which obviously turned out well.
Right.
And then it also now sets the table for higher expectations in the upcoming years.
Well, the last time I was in this office was on signing day, which again was a monumental piece of building the team that'll be the 2010 Bruins.
It was an exciting day. We got a lot of good news that particular morning and afternoon, and we need to create a lot more good news as we go forward in this program. And I think that will be the case if we get done what we're capable of getting done in this next 15 days of practice, that called spring ball.
You had said to the team in the locker room after the Eagle Bank Bowl that they needed to put in a quarter that they would never forget. And what's the word that you've heard back from everyone down there?
We had a very successful winter quarter. Academically, the kids did a good job with maybe one or two exceptions. And those youngsters will have to really pay close attention in the spring quarter. It's not dire, but needs to be handled. But for the most part, the guys did a really, really good job. Some guys who had struggled in the fall came back and had great quarters for themselves in the winter, which is always important. And then the other piece of the winter quarter is that off season, the chance to develop yourself both physically from a strength standpoint and in the speed department. And I thought that Mike Lynn, our strength and conditioning coach, did a fabulous job, he and his staff, getting our guys to be top-level athletes, at least increasing to their full potential. And now we get to take it out and take it for a spin, so to speak.
You've got to be excited with the development of the quarterbacks in the weight room, especially Kevin Prince.
Yeah, you don't get many points for lifting records, but you like that they're competing like that.
Right.
And Kevin Prince, I had to take a double take to look at the numbers, but he's at 230 pounds. He ran a 4.5 40 and is showing no ill effects from some of the injuries that plagued him through his freshman campaign. So I'm really looking forward to Kevin kind of taking that next step and assuming the role of a leader on this team and showing now that we've finally got an experienced quarterback playing at UCLA.
How much opportunity is there for someone to win a starting job before the spring's even over?
We don't ever say you can't win a job.
Mm-hmm.
I think we want our players to go out every day with the thought, I'm going to win this job. I'm going to prove to the coaches that I'm the guy that should be on the field when games are being won and lost. And I don't think you ever say, well, you can't do that today. You want them to believe that can happen every day. But you don't necessarily want to, if someone takes the lead, tell the guy who's in second place, okay, you're done. You want that competition to go as long as it possibly can into the fall camp and up until that September 4th opener in Manhattan, Kansas. So I think we are working hard to make sure that competition's at the forefront, that these guys understand that we are now in year 3 of this regime, this era of UCLA football. And as we hoped it would, expectations have risen. And not only externally, but also internally. And we have to come out of the box competing at top levels so that we can improve and have a successful September, because as everybody who's paid attention knows, that September schedule is very, very challenging. To play Kansas State on the road, come home against Stanford, one of the more physical teams, not only in our conference but in the country, then play a wide open team that threw for more yards than maybe any other team in the country last year in Houston, who's got a returning quarterback, Case Keenum, who's very, very highly thought of around the quarterback circles in the country, and then obviously to finish the month in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So you've got your hands full, but it's a great challenge. Our kids are very much looking forward to it, and I think we will get exactly what we want in terms of the energy.
And I would imagine that it's also a great opportunity for players to show themselves before any of the freshmen have arrived on campus.
Exactly right. This is, there is no scout teams in spring ball. You're playing against good on good all the time. And I told the players when we first met that we were going to have guys inserted into the first teams that maybe didn't think they were first team players, to find out how they'll respond to that kind of challenge. Is it too big for them, or are they ready to show that the coaches, I can take advantage of an opportunity when it's presented? And we're going to do that across the board in all the different position groups, so that we can find out if a lot of our young players are ready.
How helpful has it been for you to have predominance of your staff intact all 3 years here at UCLA?
Well, that was one of the things I really wanted to get accomplished when I made the original hirings. Carl, who's a great buddy of mine, had a lot of attrition on his coaching staff, whether it because of LA traffic, whether it because of opportunities elsewhere, which is always going to be part of the deal. He had a hard time maintaining consistency within the coaching staff. We're very fortunate that we've had a completely unchanged offensive staff. Defensively, we've had a couple of coaches make personal moves for themselves, and certainly that's understandable. But for the most part, we've stayed pretty consistent, and I'm excited that we're able to do that. I think it's great for the players to have that familiar voice and continue to improve the fundamentals as that particular coach sees them and teaches them. So I think that's crucial to being successful and to taking advantage of what we call experience.
Well, and you've mentioned it's the third season, that this is the time to really show yourself, and it's a very tough schedule. So how much pressure is on the team, on the coaching staff, on yourself to perform?
Well, I think the pressure is placed on ourselves internally, but we don't want to take a step backwards. Mm-hmm. From 4-8 to 7-6, and a bowl win was good, healthy progress. The next steps will be harder, because you're trying to unseat really good programs, good teams, and to do that while losing some of the guys that we lost. Brian Price, Alteron Werner, those Reggie Carter, those guys are difficult to replace, and then also to find a way to take on the schedule, take on. We lost Xavier Suafilo to a mission, our starting left tackle. So there's some things that have to be addressed and have to be pinned down so that we feel very comfortable. But that's not an excuse to say why it won't happen. We've got to find a way to make it happen, and that's what makes it fun to come to work every morning. We're looking for all those combinations that are going to help us be a more productive offense, continue to be a very solid, efficient defense, and find ways to win those games that kind of got away from us last year.
All right, well, Coach, we'll see you out on the practice field starting tomorrow.
We'll see you out there, Ralph, and hope to see all the folks that pay close attention to UCLA football and want to know how much we appreciate it.
All right, and we'll have complete coverage of UCLA in the spring camp, best coverage available right here at UCLABruins.com.